Soviet AI could launch nukes without humans. That's terrifying. Imagine the final moments of the Cold War. The world teetered on the brink. But what if the decision to end it all wasn't made by a man? What if a computer decided to end the world? This is the story of Perimeter, the Soviet dead hand. It was a doomsday machine. A system designed for ultimate retaliation. The Soviets feared a surprise nuclear attack. They needed a way to strike back, even if everyone was dead. This wasn't just a theory. It was a complex, terrifying reality. A system built in the shadows. A ghost in the Soviet military machine. Perimeter was born from deep paranoia. The year was 1979. The Soviet leadership was losing sleep. They worried about a first strike from the West, a decapitation strike. What if their command centers were destroyed? What if all leadership was vaporized? How could they retaliate? They needed an automated response, a failsafe, a way to ensure mutually assured destruction, even if there was no one left to push the button. This is where the genius and the horror begins. They conceived of a system that could think for itself, in a very limited, but critical, way. Perimeter was a network of sensors, buried deep underground, scattered across vast, desolate landscapes. These sensors were its eyes and ears, its only connection to the outside world. They monitored seismic activity, the tremors of nuclear detonations. They measured radiation levels, the telltale signature of an attack. They tracked pressure changes, the shock waves from explosions. If these sensors registered a massive, coordinated nuclear assault, if the data painted a picture of devastation, the system would activate. It was designed to survive. This system was built to be buried, to withstand the unimaginable. It was the ultimate insurance policy against total annihilation. But how did it decide? How did it know it was time? This is where the AI comes in, or rather, a rudimentary form of artificial intelligence. It wasn't a thinking, feeling AI. Not like today's machines. It was a logic engine, a complex decision tree, programmed with a single, terrifying purpose. If the sensors detected a catastrophic event, if the data overwhelmingly pointed to a first strike, the system would initiate a countdown. A slow, deliberate process. This countdown wasn't instantaneous. It was designed to give a chance for human override, but only if humans were still able to override it. This is the chilling part. If the command bunkers were gone, if the leaders were silent, the countdown would continue, unchecked, unstoppable. The system would then send a signal, a digital command, to the intercontinental ballistic missiles, the ICBMs, sitting in their silos, waiting. These missiles carried the payload, the power to devastate, the power to end civilization. And the decision would be made by a machine. This raises profound questions about control, about escalation, about the nature of warfare itself. What if the sensors malfunctioned? What if a natural disaster triggered the system? A massive earthquake, a solar flare, a false alarm. The potential for accidental war was immense. A rogue signal, a glitch in the code, a misinterpretation of data. The system relied on a chain of command, but the final link was automated. The last decision belonged to the code. This was a terrifying concept, even for the Soviets. They were aware of the risks. The system was designed as a last resort, a response of last resort. It was meant to be a deterrent, to make any first strike unthinkable. Because even if they were destroyed, the West would also be destroyed. But the existence of such a system, the reliance on autonomous decision-making, it changed the calculus of war. It introduced a new level of risk. Imagine the tension, the fear, the constant threat of annihilation. This system amplified that fear. It represented a new frontier in warfare. The beginning of autonomous weapons. Machines making life or death decisions on a global scale. The system was incredibly complex. It involved multiple layers of security, redundancies, safeguards. But the core logic remained: if attack detected, and no human response. Then launch. This was the ultimate expression of fear, the fear of being wiped out, without the ability to respond. Without the ability to inflict damage in return. It was a grim testament to the Cold War mentality, a world living under a nuclear shadow. The exact operational status of perimeter is still debated. Some believe it was never fully activated. Others say it was maintained for decades. What is certain is that the technology existed. The concept was real. The potential for a machine to launch nuclear war was explored. And it was explored by a superpower, a nation armed with thousands of nuclear weapons. This wasn't science fiction. This was documented Soviet military planning. The declassified documents tell a chilling story. They reveal the internal debates, the concerns about the system's autonomy, the fear of losing human control, but the perceived threat from the West, the need for a guaranteed response. It outweighed the risks in the eyes of the planners. This system represented a paradigm shift, the idea that machines could be entrusted with ultimate power, the power to destroy. It foreshadowed the challenges we face today. With artificial intelligence, with autonomous weapons systems, we are building machines that can make decisions, machines that can learn, machines that can act independently. The lessons of perimeter are stark. We must understand the implications of what we create. What happens when the code makes the decision? What happens when the human element is removed? The Soviet dead hand was a product of its time, a time of extreme tension, a time of existential threat. But the questions it raises, they are timeless. They are relevant to our future. We are on the cusp of new technological advancements. AI is evolving rapidly. The potential for autonomous systems is growing. We need to consider the ethical boundaries. We need to ensure human oversight. We need to maintain control. Because the stakes are higher than ever before. The power we are wielding is immense. The ghost in the machine. It is a powerful metaphor. But with perimeter, it was a very real possibility. A possibility that could have ended the world. Not with a bang, but with a cold, calculated command. This was the ultimate doomsday device, an AI designed to launch nukes, without a human in the loop. Consider the AI we build today. Are we truly in control?